virus is a virus composed HIV, or human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus composed of DNA and RNA, which are enveloped in a protein to enter the body. HIV normally progresses into AIDS if left untreated. AIDS stands for Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Because the HIV virus uses the reverse transcriptase to convert an RNA genome to DNA, it is known as a retrovirus. Another example of retrovirus is the flu. Because it is a single-stranded genetic material, it develops mutations more frequently than DNA viruses. This changing nature of a retrovirus makes it particularly difficult to develop vaccines for them. Hence why you must get the flu shot every year, but only one polio vaccine in the span of your life. Drugs like AZT works by inhibiting the function of the enzyme reverse transcriptase. This prevents the virus from converting its RNA to DNA. Now, the way HIV infects the human is by infecting a particular type of immune system cell, the T helper cell. Once infected, the T helper cells turn into an HIV replicating cell. There are typically 1 million T cells per 1 milliliter of blood. HIV will slowly reduce the number of these cells until the person develops the disease AIDS. There are a myriad of ways a person can get HIV, not just through sex, but also through sharing needles, syringes, or injecting equipment. Transmission from mother to baby during pregnancy or breastfeeding is also a cause of HIV. There are some common misconceptions regarding HIV transmission. You cannot get HIV from kissing, hugging, sharing food, insect bites, toilet seats, bathing, sneezes, cough, or sweat.
HIV stigma refers to irrational or negative attitudes, judgments, or actions towards people living with or at risk of HIV. It can negatively affect those living with HIV by discouraging some individuals from learning about their HIV status, accessing treatment, or staying in care. The stigma can also affect those at risk of HIV by discouraging them from seeking HIV prevention tools and testing, and from talking about their sexual partners and safer sex options. Stigma drives acts of discrimination in all sectors of society, including healthcare, education, the workplace, and the justice system, families, and communities. HIV can only be contracted from blood, semen, vaginal fluid, anal mucus, and breast milk. Though some myths surrounding the contraction of HIV around kissing, hugging, sharing food, insect bites, toilet seats, bathing, sneezes, and coughs and sweat are all untrue. The HIV infection in humans came from a type of chimpanzees in Central America. The chimp version of the virus is called SIV, or simian immunodeficiency virus, was one of the most likely reasons that it passed to humans when humans hunted these apes for meat and came into contact with their infected blood. There are a few symptoms of HIV, such as a flu-like cold or similar symptoms lasting for between 2 to 6 weeks. Then, these disappear, and the person does not experience basically any symptoms for years. But the virus continues to spread and damage their immune systems. HIV can be treated in a variety of ways, such as antiretroviral therapy or post-exposure prophylaxis. When one tests positive for HIV, there are 2 key blood tests required to gauge treatment before beginning. Firstly, the HIV Viral Load, which is a blood test that monitors the amount of the HIV virus in your blood. An undetectable load will be around 10,000 copies, but a high viral load can be between around 100,000 to 1 million different copies. This test determines the strength of the treatment required. The second test is the CD4 lymphocyte cell count, which essentially determines the extent to which the HIV virus has affected your immune system. A normal CD4 count is between 500 to 1,500 cells per mm cubed. If the patient is left untreated, the levels can drop to below 200 cells per mm cubed. What antiretroviral drugs do is that they inhibit the ability of the HIV to multiply in the body, giving the immune system the ability and time to produce more CD4 cells. Antiretrovirals have to be taken on a regular basis because they do not stay in the body for a long period of time. Another form of treatment is post-exposure prophylaxis medication, which has to be taken within 72 hours of exposure and only requires a month to be effective. Thank you so much and happy World Health Day.